Hey everyone, it's Undead again for my last video in this top 5 killer video series. In this one, I will be talking about the top 5 killers in Dead by Daylight for beginners. New players or low skill level players will really benefit from playing these killers as they're more simple to learn. Alright, let's get into it. Starting things off with my 5th spot on this list, I have Trapper. Trapper is a very simple killer to learn because all he does is place traps around the map. This is an easy way to get free injures or even downs. If you're a beginner level player with Trapper, I'd recommend placing traps in window vaults or pallets. You want to make sure that you're placing them in well hidden areas though if you can. That being tall grass so it's harder for survivors to see. Try to stay away from placing them in areas where survivors would never go, like in the corner or edges around the map. You could pull off some accidental trap catches though if you set them in random tall grass patches around the middle of the map, especially if it's a tight area. A perk I find necessary with Trapper is Corrupt Intervention, so that you have a bit more time to trap up the map. I'd also recommend gen pressure perks like Ruin or Pop Goes the Weasel. Be careful though, try not to let the survivor see where you place your traps, and also don't commit to a chase unless a few traps are set. At my 2nd spot on this list, I have Wraith. So Wraith is an incredibly simple killer. You can go invisible by cloaking, and when you uncloak, you get a speed boost. That's pretty much as simple as it gets. With Wraith, you'll want to catch people off guard so that you can get the hit on survivors. You don't want to be uncloaked and end up chasing survivors that aren't even injured. That's a big no-no. You should stay cloaked, hit a survivor, cloak, and then try to catch them off guard again. You really want everyone to stay injured, so I'd recommend perks like Sloppy Butcher and Thanatophobia. You also want to prevent people from healing, so a Nurse's Calling works really well too. Learn how to be stealthy with Wraith, and learn when to cloak. Even a beginner can do well with Wraith. And at my 3rd spot on this list, I have Legion. So Legion is a nice killer to use for beginners because you could easily bounce from survivor to survivor, getting everyone injured. If they choose to heal, then they would have wasted plenty of time, and if they don't heal, then they're just an instant down. All you have to do is hit them once. This will make for an easy match for new killers. The only thing you have to be good at with Legion is landing your swings. Know that you could lunge further with Legion and have a good amount of control. You also have to follow the killer instinct to find survivors. This is pretty easy, just don't go for the person if they look like they're too far away. Always go for the closest person to you. With a bit of practice with Legion, you could be pretty deadly at a beginner level. I recommend Thanatophobia, Discordance, Hex Ruin, and a Nurse's Calling. This will help you to keep people injured, find survivors, and push them off gens and let the gens regress. Coming in at my 2nd spot on this list, I have Michael Myers. Michael Myers is a really good killer for new players because he has a pretty basic ability. You start off with no terror radius, meaning you get some easy stalk on a survivor, and even if they see you, it doesn't matter. You could just keep stalking unlike Ghostface. Your main goal is to get to tier 3, so that the survivors become an instant down. And I think that this is achieved pretty easily for beginner killers. The closer you are to a survivor, the more stalk you will get off them. It's also good to know that you could see your stalk progress on the bottom left, so get to about 95% until you're at tier 3. Then, when you get really close to survivor, finish it off. It will become exposed, and that's an easy kill. Make sure you're in a good position though, meaning not right next to a pallet. I'd recommend using Monitor and Abuse, so that you always have a small terror radius, as well as Discordance and Ruin, so that you could push people off gens, and let the gens regress while you're getting stock off the survivors, keeping them away. In my honorable mention, I have the Doctor and Freddy. These guys are both relatively easy to play, but are extremely powerful. Try them out once you get a little bit better with Killer though. But in my top spot of the best killers for new players, this may come as a surprise to you guys, it's the Pig. The Pig is an awesome killer for beginner players to try out because she has a pretty time-consuming, or on rare cases, deadly passive power. All you have to do is play like normal, down a survivor, then you get a bunch of time wasted for you and you didn't even have to do anything special. You just put the bear traps on down survivors' heads and then there you go. It takes no practice to be able to set the bear traps on someone's head. And if you want to practice something, you could practice her crouch and dash attack. But it isn't necessary to do great with her though. She's the perfect killer to get the feel for playing Dead by Daylight because there isn't a bunch of little details to know about her power. All you need to know is trap, go on head. That's it. And you could really use whatever perks you want on her. Test stuff out and figure out the perks that you'd like to use. This killer will be your sandbox. A build that I would use is Corrupt Intervention in Haunted Grounds so that you can crouch around and creep on people until the hex pops, leaving them exposed. But it's just a build I would mess around with, not to try hard with. Anyways, Pig is a simple and easy killer to play, making her the perfect killer for any new survivors. I hope you guys enjoyed this or that it helped you out in some way or another. But that's going to do it for this video. If you guys did like it, give the channel a subscribe because there's more on the way. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next one.